Oh my god. So much homework to finish, and I still have to revise for my test. Jeez, going to stay up late tonight.
Begin.
If you are a DSE student, you will probably know this really well. You were once very terrified of some three-letter words, for example, DSE, SLP, SBA, IES, and what? OLE. And you still have tons of homework to do. And also, you don't have enough time because of the schoolwork and activities after school, and also the tutorial classes as well. So, most importantly, your parents didn't seem to understand you. What the hell is OLE? Just focus on your studies. But you wish they would really know you and just support you, but they never did that to you. So we are here to save our juniors, and we created this game called Pressure. Pressure is a word combined from parents and pressure, and we want parents to experience the pressure experienced by high school students in Hong Kong nowadays. Currently, there are a lot of cases of secondary school students committing suicide, including this, indicating that the students are experiencing excessive pressure. Major reasons for pressure may include academic issues and stress exerted by family members. By allowing users to experience the pressure that Hong Kong secondary school students are now facing, we would like to raise the awareness of parents and draw their attention towards the pressure of their children, therefore reflecting on the ways of communicating with them.
Okay, come to the game. We have the two scenes in our game. The first one is classroom, and the second one is the bedroom or the prayer. Since the time is limited in the reality, so we only have 4 minutes in our game. The first scene is the classroom, as we saw already, which is the introductory scenes. The homework list is written on the blackboard. It allows parents to understand how high the workload of typical secondary school student. In this bedroom scenes, the player can see some objects on the study table, like the books, computer, phone, or a glass of water. Your ultimate target is to balance the pressure of and your working progress. There are different objects, there are different endings, which depends on whether you can achieve your target. By choosing different objects, it may trigger different events, which may increase or lower your pressure.
You might want to show them.
Yeah, we will show that later.
So time flies, so let us just try. Let's try the trophy first. Some technical problems.
Dad, let's go running this weekend.
Oh no, sweetie, you better focus on your studies first. Let's go running after exam.
Yes, you want to relieve yourself by running, but your dad intentionally adding more pressure to you. So let's try another thing, the computer.
I wonder how do I do this question? I better search for some information first.
Hey, no computer games. How many times have I told you about that? If you are free, help me with the housework.
Yes, we always experience that our mom is misunderstanding we are using the computer to play computer games, but we are using this for studying. Let us try to last the bed. We want to sleep.
Oh, I can't hold it anymore. I better take a 10-minute nap.
Do you hear the heartbeat? When the pressure is building up and up, then we will have more
Wake up.
heartbeat for this.
You said you are very busy. Why are you sleeping here?
So that's all from presentation. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so enough of that parent pressure, right? So group 3B, Oblivion. Are you using the cupboard?
Just say so, just present just the network. You know, it's okay. Don't worry. This is
Okay.
Begin.
Okay. Sorry guys, we are Team Oblivion, and because our presentation slide is online and this computer cannot connect to network, so we cannot show our PowerPoint. And our project is a cardboard, Google Cardboard application. Is to arouse general public about the light pollution problem. Why we need to arouse the public attention onto the light pollution problem is because nowadays, like in Hong Kong, originally the sky should be full of stars and other galaxy, Milky galaxies. But now, because of the artificial light source, many of those beautiful scenery is hidden by those pollution. So we are purposely to make the application to arouse public attention to concern about this issue. Okay, I pass my time to Dennis to talk about the details of the application.
So I want to give you guys up with some information. Currently, the sky in the urban area is about 30 times brighter than the sky in a rural area. And I believe if you look at the sky in the city, you can't see any stars at all. Our application consists of a highway, so you'll be put into a convertible car from the top down, and you can look up 360 degrees, you can see the sky. At the start of the application, you'll be facing a rural area where you can see the sky very clearly. You can see how sparkly and bright the stars are. And then as you press the button on the cardboard, the car will move forward and will progress to an industrial area where the sky is a little bit, you can't see the stars clearly. And if you keep going forward, you'll reach an urban area with skyscrapers and everything. And that's when you can't see too many stars at all.
2 minutes.
So when you reach that area, it'll be like looking up to the sky in Hong Kong. You can't see stars at all. And we added in a special effect that is allowing you to switch off all the light sources in the city. So basically you're shutting down the city where there's no artificial light whatsoever. And you can see how the sky would look like with skyscraper but all the lights off.
So do you want to pass around?
Yeah, so after the presentation. Yeah. Because of the technical problem, we may not be able to show the application now, but we shall pass our Google Cardboard after the presentation to all of you guys to have a brief demonstration of what we have done. Okay. So that's all for our presentation.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you very much. So,
Thank you for Group 3A. They worked really hard to create that really beautiful looking sky. Okay, so you'll be able to see it later. Group 4A, wheelchair simulator.
Begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 4A, and our project is wheelchair simulator. So why we want to do this is because currently in Hong Kong, there are 75% that the restaurant that not accessible to the wheelchair user. So we are actually the list of the wheelchair users are not really aware in Hong Kong. So in virtual reality, what it makes us is that allow us to experience something new in regardless of our physical status. So we are trying to build a wheelchair simulator so that we can walk in their shoes and understand what they really need, and so that we can before we build something like a building structure or everything, we can try to face their own challenge and experience them so that we can make the accessible facility more perfect. So maybe now we pass it to Max to have some simple demonstration on the simulator.
As it is so before, the player is a wheelchair user which needs to go to the toilet in the shopping mall, but he can't find the sign in the shopping mall, so he needs to go to the information center. He can't go by the escalator too, so he needs to find the lift to travel to the ground floor to reach this guy. And the counter is quite high to him, so he needs to go really further to talk to the guy to ask the question. The verse is saying that toilet is on the third floor. Sorry for it is quite blurred. And he could go to the elevator again to go to the third floor. The soldiers then just find it, just cosplayer, and it's not a problem. It is the third floor, and you can't find the toilet too, so you need to keep finding. Teleportation.
So there's some technical error that it returned to the starting point, but it's usually after going to the information center, the wheelchair user will go to the third floor, so he eventually find the toilet. What is similar to that is that as a wheelchair user, normally we can go upstairs or downstairs using the it's very convenient to travel between the floor. But for a wheelchair user, we only have, we are able to travel to different floor with the escalator. So and the lift. So it's quite difficult for them. Even though if he or she want to find the toilet, he or she may have to go to the information center and travel a quite long travel before they can go to the final destination. So this reflects how difficult for a wheelchair user in a shopping mall. And we would like to try, we build a shopping mall instead is because the shopping mall consists of many different things like supermarket, restaurant, and all of it. It can quite easily to simulate the daily needs and the daily life of a wheelchair user. So we pass to.
Okay, so we also have some planning on having some future developments for our system. As you know, it's not perfect and we have some bugs here. So we plan to increase the immersion of the whole system by letting the user to sit on a wheelchair to imitate the reality. So you see there are some features of the seats that we plan to make, like there are wheels for the users to roll with, and also some adjustable tension to imitate the tension. Okay, so there are no more time left, so this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Well, that's certainly a very helpful application. Okay, Group 4B, HKU Year 1 Simulator.
So good afternoon, everybody. Our group would like to show you a game called the Hong Kong Year 1 Simulator. That to let you to experience what Year 1 life is, like living in the hall or 上莊, like being an exco. What is the consequence or what will you happen and when you're being exco or living in hall? And in this game, we'll also illustrate all the things to all of you. So let our demonstrator to show Patrick and Raymond.
Thank you. So in the game, probably you will see that there we build a Hong Kong U scene, and you can control the player using the export controller. And you can click on the back button or the tab button to open the skill bar so that you can see different skills are shown on the screen. And there are altogether 12 scenes in the game which are mounted with the spotlight, just like that, the shop building the spotlight. And when you get into the university, what will you do first? Hopefully, you will register a hall, right? When you register a hall, you can go into the hall scene and check out the function. And then, why you going to the hall first? Because you can become a small scene and then middle scene and large scene in the future. And then in the scene, you can check out different characters like this one, that one, and you can trigger different types of sports activities or cultural activities. Yeah, just like this one. And you can see that dialogue is open and you can make choices. And we have also prepared a drone scene which is quite similar to this scene, but due to the time limit we will not demonstrate here. And then being an undergraduate student, you know, skipping the lecture is a common sense, right? So, however, why are you guys sitting here? Just because this course, Virtual World Real Bodies, is a valuable course. So, this time we go to the lecture hall to see what's happening.
You know we are not voting today, right? The tutors are not voting.
I know. I think that there will be some technical problems, so we cannot get into the scenes because there we prepare a poster which is marked the real our course there. So, but it's okay. And in the game, when will the game be ended? So we have prepared some sports for trigger. We have prepared a deadline that GPA will see, so you can see this poster is there. And then if you didn't study and you didn't pay attention to the lectures and you skip all the lectures, probably you will go not for a good GPA. And then we will have prepared a GPA scene, but due to the maybe technical problems, so we cannot go down to trigger the scenes for you guys to see. But it's okay. We go to see another effect. That is during the day, probably your mom. Oh, sorry. We open the games for you guys to see the events again. And then we have prepared some special events like some toggle scenes and some maybe your mom calling you during the day. And we're now going to see what will happen when your mom calling you. So your mom will call you during the day with the time equals to 20, and you can choose whether to go home or not go to home, or you just reject the call now. And then also when your stress level is too high, we will trigger some like scenes like this die scenes, but we want to bring a message to the players that committing the suicide is not a way to solve the problem. And we hope that the 3D jumping fear effect will help prohibit those tragedies. And then, but I think more words and explanation have to be added to this game so that we can spread the positive energy and positive message to the player and users. And we hope that this game could be a first insight for high school students. And for okay, I think time is the end. So thank you for watching this.
Some may冇take two It's not an option, okay? They're just showing that. All right, so group 4B and 5A, stage of new age.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we are Group 5A and we'll introduce our project called Stage of New Age. This project is quite different because we are introducing a new idea of using our cave. Traditionally, the normal stage performance is less of the interaction between the audience and our performers. But we are using this VR technology with our sports controller. We can have a one-to-one interaction between our performers and the audience. As we can see, we have a normal stage now, and if there is a big L cave or we have more walls here, it's more realistic that we can see the actual performance is standing on the stage. And the one advantage of using this VR technology is that maybe some dangerous the condition can be shown easily in our VR stage. For example, we have the fire here. And some more special way is that the VR is not constricted with our physical any constraints. Just like we are here to see a normal stage, and maybe some drama we will hear also on the stage. But with this technology, we can have a more realistic world, just like in an actual room. So, for example, when we want to have a drama that's in the scenes of some performance thing in the living room, and we can see if here is a else cave, we can just see someone standing in this room, and the audience can have a more realistic experience that they're actually involved in this drama. And with more, we can have some other more relaxed stage for some musical performance. And also, we have some unrealistic environments that just like we are standing in a city destroyed, and we can also fly through these scenes so that maybe the performance can see, the audience can see the performance is flying in our stage. So this an idea is can use the advantage of our VR technology, so that we hope that with these ideas, more performers or the drama groups can use this technology to enhance their experience of drama performance or other stage performance. So I think this is the end of our presentation, and I hope you can have a new idea of using the cave system. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Group 5A. So maybe in the near future we will have a virtual stage to perform our dramas. Okay, Group 5B, Film Studio Alpha.
6A, please come forward.
Hi everyone, we are Group 5B producing a Google Cover App called Film Studio Alpha. Actually, it's a stimulator for the film making industry. They can stimulate like a director fully immersed in the Google Cover. They can practice. We achieve to reduce the course and provide training. So this is a PowerPoint, and we will have a demo time later. So.
You only have 4 minutes.
Okay, I know. Thank you. Is it no? Okay, so that's the stimulator for function. Yes, this is a street view that we have. Like we have the spotlight, so that the film industry people, like the lighting staff, can practice the lighting skills in this. And there is the street Hong Kong local thing, so that we can have a practice about it. So, okay. So this is the demo time. So normally we'll have a joystick and a and the Google Hardware simulator that can be played around. And we can't stimulate the light, so we can have a Unity to see what we have made. So this is the in-game feature that you can add anything about it, like you can practice. So how about we will have a spotlight? Okay, so this is the in-game plug-in feature that we made, and this is the Google Cardboard view that you see in the Google Cardboard. And you can fully immerse in here, or pretending you are the director, where to set the cameras, like you are the lighter, you can add a spotlight about it. So I can add a spotlight. Add spotlight. So here's spotlight, and you can move it around, and you can set the camera, set the light to produce it to practice as a film producer. So you can practice it and reduce the course in training staff and thinking about the street sense, because nobody can really walk a Mong Kok street or occupy the Mong Kok street to film it, isn't it? So you can practice here and block the street for an hour, then you can finish your filmmaking. And you can add some feature about a car, a taxi, then you move around, pretending the taxi is in your film. And this is what we made. We have 2 target audience. This is for university students, which is favored and joining the film industry. They can help them to practice more in learning the camera and learning the lighting. And we can also provide it as a business solution to a film company. It's like they can train the staff and they can reduce and minimize their cost as a training or practicing.
just like that. We can add in unlimited plugin, and we wish we can sell this app into Google Play Store. They can provide a good solution for them, and then to make the Hong Kong local film industry back into the golden state where Bruce Lee is coming in. Yeah, just like a car crash. And we wish we have a film studio beta that we can stimulate the explosion event in the film, that you can practice it to reduce human life loss or minimize the cost. That's why we made this into the Unity of the car crash. And we don't need to have a K version because we need to populate this app. We use everyone. We wish everyone can use this app. That's why we produce a Google car crash instead of a K. And 3D is really a good solution for us because when you practice it, you need to interact with the object. That's why you need to have a 3D app instead of a 2D plane, which most likely most online game can do. Yeah, this is what we do. Then we can show more demo. Like we can change the spotlight into blue, or we can change anything. Okay, thank you. This is our presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Group 5B, for the interesting demonstration. 6A, Group 6A, educational game, Escape the Mysterious Island.
Begin.
Hello everyone, we are Group 6A. Our project is about a game called Escape the Mysterious Island. This game is an adventure game and there's only one player for the game. This game, the aim of this game is to educate teenagers about some knowledge about renewable energy. So in this game, the players need to control a character and survive in a mysterious island that was experienced a nuclear power plant explosion a decades ago. This is our objective, and this target audience is teenager. Now we will show you the demo of our game. As you can see, we are on Mistress Island. This is initially you need to walk along the island to find some checkpoints on the island. They will give you some hints or sometimes ask some questions about renewable energy. If you answer the question correctly, you may get some collectibles and some food, or so that you can survive in this island. There are some way to win the game. For example, you can reach to the final buildings to solve the mystery of the island, or you can get rid of the island by launching a boat. As you can see, there are some coins. If you approach to this coin, normally there will pop up about some question. But due to technical problem, we can't show it here. As you can see, there are some solar power plant, there are some collectibles. You can collect something if you, yeah. You can go to the other power plant. On this island, there are various power plants. For example, the solar one, the windmill, or the nuclear power plant. And if you walk along the island, island, you will find a bridge that connect to other island. Initially, we have decided there are 4 main islands for the player to travel. There are some questions on different islands of different difficulties. The player can read some notes to solve, to gain some knowledge and know more about renewable energy so that they can answer the question correctly in order to survive in the island.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
So you can see a bridge there. There's this bridge connect between different islands, but we just built one of the island we decided. Yeah. So this is the end of our presentation. I hope this is interesting and helpful to you.
Thank you.
Or just to add a little bit more information about that one. Actually, their aim is to show the different forms of energy, energy power stations, and then supposedly there will be information popping up and informing the users. So it's supposed to be an educational program. All right. The next group, 6B, a glimpse of death. Seems like a lot of you are interested in the death issue.
Group 7A. Please come forward.
Are you going to present? What?
Never did it seem more appropriate.
So, Henry?
So we're Group 6B in art. So as I'm sure a lot of you have heard in the news recently, that in the first few months of 2016, 22 students in Hong Kong had committed suicide. So this is a massive increase compared to previous years. So in our project, we wanted to address this in an artistic manner. So what we've done is create the living space of a person who has committed suicide. And what we want to achieve by this is to let the viewers explore the living space and to understand the various elements that we've placed in this living space, which the viewers can then interpret to try and understand the story of why the person committed suicide, as well as how they committed suicide. So for example, we see the room, generally speaking, it's very messy. We have all these medicines lying around the room. There's these assignments which have F written on them, so they're failing. They're not doing well in their courses academically. You can look at their laptop. There's, they have some websites open, such as, for example, here their grades. 4 failed. And also CCA2, so they're failing in CCA2 as well. Yeah, they're in a pretty bad situation. So, also you can see there's a diary lying on the bed. So basically what we've done is we researched some of the actual reasons that people commit suicide, both in general, but also in case of Hong Kong, because as you all know, the exam pressure, the idea of not meeting your parents' expectations, and maybe not being able to find a job, these would all be risk factors for why a person might commit suicide. So we've included these ideas in the diary as well as in the suicide note, which is on the table. Also, the idea with some of the scripts, for example, the lighting and the door, basically we want to give the viewers a sense of exploration. So because the room is the only actual object in the scene, we want to give the viewers a choice of whether or not to actually go into the person's mind and go into the room or not. At the same time, in the scene, there's an image outside the balcony, if possible you can see, which is basically the view from outside the city. So this serves 2 purposes. First is for the sake of realism, that when you look outside the balcony, there's an actual image. At the same time, it's symbolic because it symbolizes the distance between the person's mind, which you could say is the room, because by exploring the room, you're able to get a glimpse into the person's mind, as the title of the project suggests. At the same time, the physical distance represents their detachment from reality, or the rest of the city, or the rest of the world, which the image might represent. Also, there's several posters on the wall. So, for example, the stress management techniques, and there's another success poster on the other side of the wall, which are crossed out. So the reason we've chosen posters which were crossed out is that, for example, before they might not have been crossed out. So what this signifies is that there's been some sort of a change. And there's actually also a sound recording where the person recorded their last words before they killed themselves.
The time has come.
But it's actually 6 minutes long, so I don't think we can play the whole thing
Education
here.
system is flawed, or I'm too volatile, or I'm mentally ill.
Yeah, so you can listen to the sound recording, you can read the suicide note, and look at some of the assignments in the diary. And by doing so, you can try to piece together a story for why the person committed suicide. So our target audience is mainly other students. We didn't really have a particular message to send to the students. It was more of an artwork primarily. At the same time, though, because we included all of these ideas based on actual research of the risk factors, what this means is that if students do feel sympathy for this person who committed suicide, maybe it means that they need to introspect and see if that there are some elements that are similar to the person who was in this living space or in the story that we've tried to create. So I guess that's one way that viewers of this project might gain some sort of value from it. It also has the target audience of the teachers because, sorry, of the parents, because a lot of parents have high thumbs up. Okay, that was all. Thanks.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
So that was one more thoughtful work about the incidents that's been happening in Hong Kong. Good work. The next group, by the way, we're halfway through, so be patient. Group 7A, Children Factory. That was
Who's gonna do the talking?
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 7A, and our PowerPoint has some technical problems, so the formatting will have some problems. And the title of our project is called Children Factory, and in this project, we will address on the issue of on children happiness. And one of the important factors that determine a happy childhood is playing. And playing is very essential to optimal child in terms of the physical, social, and emotional well-being. And also play can enhance children's creativity and imagination. So this can improve the children's development. But sadly, in Hong Kong, more than 70% of the students have less than 1 hour of free play. So we think that this is insufficient, and this would hinder children's development. And why children nowadays in Hong Kong do not have sufficient time for free play, and there are mainly 4 reasons, which are parental over-control, over-scheduling of ECA, and also intense academic pressure and the influence of the exam-based society. And in short, the problem that Hong Kong students are experiencing is they do not have enough time for free play, and this is the consequence is adverse because it will result in long-term stress accumulation, which leads to some mental illness such as depression, insomnia, and also some physical problems like headache. And if students do not have sufficient time for free play, and they would have less creative ideas and lack of imagination. So our project, Children Factory, is an animation to target parents of primary school students. We would like to showcase our animation through Google Cardboard and arouse the awareness of parents on childhood happiness. And we would like to let the parents to evaluate and reflect their current parenting style. So the usage. So the storyline basically follows our background, and actually the app is set in a factory, and the children originally have a happy childhood and they would like to play, but after they enter the primary school and they are experiencing parental over control, and the parents arrange many ECAs for them, and besides, the students also have intense academic pressure, and they need to study hard, and they have so many homework and tutorial lessons, and finally they will experience very stressful, and they would become a robotic because they don't have enough ideas. So the usage of our apps would be mainly for parental educational purpose. And we would like to show to the parents and see if they can have any changes in their parenting style. So we would like to show our apps now. Because of some technical issues, we cannot show in the screen, so we'll pass the apps to Google Cardboard to the blog. And we would like to explain the components of the apps.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. and actually, in this apps, we have a baby and a factory scene and a robot arms, which implying the control of parents. And actually, the baby is very cute.
Are you going to pass around?
Okay, so I think a couple of groups with cardboard, they are going to pass around their project with the cardboard. So have a look before you vote, okay? I think there's one that's going around from group 3B, Oblivion, with the nice guy and everything. Okay, the next group. Group 7B, Valkashal.
Right. Okay.
Alright, hello, our project is called Ferkashao. So our project is about raising the awareness of zoo animal rights. It intends to drive the audience to reflect upon human-animal equality. So you may wonder, what does Ferkashao means? Ferkashao means human zoo. It has been popular among the white people in the 19th century. They kept the indigenous Africans in captivity and exhibited them. With the promotion of racial equality, fortunately such extreme racist acts are eliminated nowadays. However, the act of keeping the others in captivity never disappeared. Zoos are publicized as a place with educational value, while it actually conveys a wrong message that it is justified to keep the animals in small cages, despite the fact that it is indeed a violation of animal rights. Therefore, our project is targeted to the general public, in particular the children. Children are usually excited about visiting the zoo because they don't understand about the animals. A change on the social level cannot take place in a short period of time. Therefore, it is necessary to spread the message to the next generation. So you may wonder what's so wrong about the zoos. First of all, the animals are confined to a limited living space, which is nothing when compared to their natural habitat. They are doomed to spend their whole life monotonously in the same enclosure. This results in stress behaviors and shortened lifespan. The orientation of zoo is profit-making. They breed more to boost the revenue and trade the undesirable ones. And animals' welfare are inevitably being neglected. So in our project, human does not dominate the world. The earth is ruled by the animals. As a human exhibit, you will have a chance to exchange identities with the animals. You experience a life being kept in a cage as exactly how the animals are being treated in our world. So now let me bring you into the world of Ferkashao. Okay. You will start by walking along a footpath. Open your eyes, you will see the photos of the gloomy zoo animals. The photos were taken by Gaston Lacombe, a photographer who initiated a project called Captive about the zoo animals. He intends to stop people from using animals as display objects for entertainment. What if you are in the cage? To prepare every audience for the game, the question will be shown when they are heading towards the cage. Okay, so now we're walking towards it. So after you enter the cage, arrow will guide your way. And then, okay, finally here we are in the cage. The animals you can see surrounding outside will be taking photos with flashlight on, though they are told not to, and throwing bananas in the cage, and yelling, screaming, all this disturbed acts, just like what we humans did in the zoo. Okay, feeling so uncomfortable and disturbed, I'm sure you're delighted if there is a way outside. Yes, here it is. Look here. Yes, way outside. Okay, so you think it shows you the way out, and then you walk towards it and find yourself close to a green field. Sounds good, right? What if I tell you it is actually a decorative painting? Yes, it is a false hope of escape. There's no escape. You're doomed to spend your life there. How do you feel? This question is left to you all. Thank you.
Very good project for reminding us about the importance of compassion, right, of life. Okay, the next group, Group 8A, Virtual Library Searching Engine with 3D Navigation.
And we are Group 8, and we are trying to build a searching engine in our main library. And you can see that there is a searching keyboard on the screen, and we could use the controller to type the words. And for example, we type the word what? No, we type the word virtual reality. Yes, and then with the controller, we could type the words. Yeah, and after a while, and maybe I could say why we choose the main library, because main library is all of us familiar with it, so that if we have time, we could also choose to make an education library, something like that. And once we enter the virtual reality and we search it, and we can see that there is some related books that are popped up. And for example, we search the first book, and then it's fine that the book is on the 5th floor, and then we are loading into the 5th floor scenes. And once we have reached the scenes, you can see that there is it is a 5th floor, and we can see that there is an arrow on the ground and showing the direction of the books. Also, there is a rotating model that we could show you where you are, and so that you could, the user could actually know where he is, so that he will not get lost. And then after you follow the arrows, and then you could reach the bookshelves. It seems that only this bookshelf has books, because this is we want to emphasize where the books are, so that you could easily find the books. And then you can see that there is a green and yellow color change, and you can show that where the books are, and you could see where the books are, and then you can locate the actual location of the books. And we use this searching engine because you do not need to remember the column of the books, because it is a bit clumsy to remember the book column, so that with such engine you could easily find the books. And why we use cave instead of cardboard? Because cardboard we find that it's very light, so we very hard to control, so that we use cave to demonstrate to you, and we are hope to use cardboard in future if we have time. Yes, and that's the end of our presentation.
All right, so virtual library, that's a good idea. The next group, 8B, HKU Ghost Story.
again.
So our project is about HKU Ghost Story. So I believe that you guys will have a taste of HKU Ghost Story when you are going to Oldham in August or in the first year. And it is a collective memories for all HKU students and staff. And so now we are starting from the stairs of Sunderson stairs, and we can have a look of the Sunderson model. And it looks like the real one in a Happy Park that we have. But we just go to one of the story and we need to pay for the full version for our designer to make. And so now we are going to Red Black Red, and it's the one that we have made for the trial version. And so we go now. Okay, so we will start from the East Gate. This is the University of Hong Kong, and which we can see these buildings in the East Gate in the real world. You can have a try later after class. And so we now go up the stairs, and this is the stairs that's full of ghosts in the story that mentioned in Red Black Red, and the ghosts are the people that were killed in the Second World War by the Japanese. And so now we are walking around the main hall, and we can see that here is a basketball court, and we can see some children playing in the basketball court in the university. So it seems weird that we can see some children in the university. So, but we don't care about them, and the sky is really dark, and we want to have a sleep now. And go back to our room. And after we have refreshed and take a rest, and we now go to play basketball and go to the basketball court. What a pretty day today. So, what? Whoa, there's a pretty girl there. Oh. Right now, so we are going to shoot basketball to impress her. So we adjust our angles and the position to the right place, and now trying to shoot. Hey, it's near. Hey. Oh, try again. Oh, hey, it's near. We adjust. Oh, play the basketball. Can I have one go into the basket? Why the guy disappeared? Oh, let's follow her to her room and go to find her and have a date with her. Oh, and here are some obstacles that will block our way to her room. And this wooden obstacle seems a bit okay, so it's just it cannot. So we use the pointer to remove them. So I believe that you guys, when you are working in the Unity, you will find that the pointer of HKU Online is a bit not beautiful. So we change it to a wand. And so now here is the girls' room, and now we walk slowly to her room and see what will happen. And you can see in the whole day we are focused on the hole, and we can see red, black, red on the hole, and walk here and see what will happen. Oh, I feel very scared, and I want to escape from here, and we walk back from the corridor and move away this obstacle to make our way to escape from main hall. You can see you are feeling very scared, and the sound is taking away. Oh, so we have escaped successfully, and congratulations. And here is the newspaper talking about the Red Black Red incident of HKU. And so here is the room that we can see what is really in the room, and it's dead body. And this is the eye of the dead body, so we can see Red Black Red of this the dead body's eye.
Alright, that was pretty scary. Okay, the next group. 9A, Blink and Eye, Present and Future.
So good afternoon everyone. Our game is an educational game that aims to
provide a reflection to the stakeholders in the Northeast New Territories development. And what is our reflection? Through our project, we wish to provoke them to think about the negative consequence, where every stakeholder in the event only cares about their own interest. We hope this project can convey a message to the stakeholders about that everyone should be considerate and thoughtful when thinking about this development plan. Otherwise, negative consequences will be result at the end in the future when they are too insist on their personal interest. So let's start the game.
This is the opening scene of the game that is talking about the description of the situation of the background in the virtual world that in the northwest of the New Territories in Hong Kong, they are struggling to be going to develop a city or keeping the old farm. Here we can see this is a old farm scene that created based on the Yintong River in the northwest of New Territories, and the player is now walking to approach along player character, the NPC, and try to talk to the NPC in order to know more about different views of those stakeholders, like the farmer. And we can also look at the scene that it is very beautiful and peaceful, and along the Yintong River. And let's move on to see another scene. So this is a situation that we are not going to develop this area. So when we are not going to develop this area, as you can see that there are lots of old buildings, and the situation is it's crowded with people, and you can see that in the scene, the urban area is quite wide, and in this scene we will try to have some reflection and try to make another choice again. Yes, if we are going to make it into an urban city, so what it will happen, and you can see that there's still some green environment around this urban city, and when we try to talk to some character, you can see that yes, this is talking about what the situation that if we only choose to develop city, that there's a lot of banners that talking about that the urban city is not really good at all, and there is some chaos, and also.
Thank you. I think they did a really good job making you visualize, what happens with urbanization. Okay. Group 9B, 4D skydiving.
Thank you. So while they're getting ready, I will just talk about a brief overview of our project. So basically, we're trying to create an art piece or something like that allows people to contemplate or reflect on their mundane or routine lifestyle.
The name 4D, it comes from an extra sensation that we have incorporated in our project, which is an electric fan. Basically, when you're playing the cardboard, there will be a fan blowing at you. Yeah, so that's how the name came. So. Maybe I'll talk about how the controls work. First, you can select the scenery that you would like to experience. We have 4 sceneries: a city and city during the day, city during the night, an island during the night, and island during the day. This is one of the screenshots. This is the menu. So basically, you move your head, and then you press the cardboard button to select the environment. There will also be a platform that you can choose to toggle. Well, you can toggle for people who have fear of height. So this is the helicopter that you will be released from, and there will be a heads-up display that's showing your altitude. And when you click once, you'll be released, and if you double-click, the parachute will deploy, and then you will start to decelerate in the air. And this is the city scenery. And this is the island during the night. This is the city during the day. And this is what happens when you collide with anything. You won't die because that wouldn't be fun, right? So basically, we tell you what is your impact velocity is and what is your total time in the air. So in the final version, which is not shown in this screenshot, sadly, there will be quotes floating in the sky, and you can look at the quotes. These quotes come from different writers or philosophers that we hope that can help people to reflect on their own lives.
Are you going to pass around the Google Classroom?
Yeah, so so when we have the app here, we will circulate cardboard.
Anyone has a cardboard?
So yeah, we have also what differentiates our app from the other apps that are already on the market is that first of all, you can't die, and the second thing is that we have made the experience a much more tranquilizing experience. So there is no like rolling around or you have to really focus to when do you have to open your parachute and things like that. You can just absorb the environment and feel what's around you. There is also sound in the app and wind, bird chirping, and that's pretty much about it. Thank you.
Okay, they're gonna pass around the app for you to have an experience. I tried that before, and it's really rather pleasant and relaxing, actually. So good work. The next group, 10A, exploring the open systems interconnection model.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to explore the OSI model, and we are group 10A. And for our model is about the standard model for data communication, and we actually do this all the time. We send emails to our group mates or teachers all the time. But do you know what's going on after you click on the send button? So today we are going to talk about this model, and actually we hope to educate people because we find that it's actually a quite difficult concept to understand, and we hope to explain this flow through a more easy way. And we target at secondary school students and who were interested in computer science and networking. And the OSI system has 7 layers, and each layer performs a unique function. and we have a video to walk through our whole project. In different layers, for example, the first layer will be the application layer, which is the interface of what you see on your computer monitor. And the next layer is presentation layer, which sometimes compression and encryption will be done in this layer. And we are just having some instruction to teach how to decrypt and encrypt some data so that we can make sure our data will not be easily read by hackers. The next layer will be the session layer, which is the authentication or authorization to make sure the data will be locked and unlocked during the process. And we have the transport layer, which divides the datagram into smaller packets before it reaches the next layer. And we have the network layer later on, and it is a kind of routing process, and we create just like a maze in this layer. Next will be the data link layer, and in this layer we introduce the difference between LAN and WAN, and in this layer is determining the network addressing. And finally will be the physical layer, and in this layer we have 3 rows and with different kind of physical link for us to send our data, and this is the whole flow is something like this, and the row we are working in this video is the STP cable. And overall our project is to teach students or teach people how our data is sent and is going through the network, and we hope to explain this process through a more easy way to students. It's better to understand this way, we think.
Good, great. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, after learning some computer programming, the next group, 10B, city planning.
Controls are here.
Begin.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 10B, and this is our project, City Planning. In this project, the target is the general public, and we would like to raise the importance of having a balanced city development. It is basically a game consisting of the base, which is the island as you can see, and the 5 building blocks. The player can place those blocks on the base, and finally the game will calculate the score based on the game and the score placed by the player. And the objective is of course to get as high score as possible. So let us introduce the 5 blocks. The first one is forest. Well, it's basically just a bunch of trees, and it can improve the environmental view and also absorb some pollution. The next block is park. It is a place where the people can have a rest, and it also contains a lot of trees. And the third one is the residential areas. It is mainly contains residential buildings to provide a place for people to live in. It also produce some pollutants and use some electricity. And the fourth one is power plant. This block generates energy for the factory, which will be introduced later, to operate and also provide energy for the residential areas. And the last one is the factory, which is the place where people can work in and make some money. This allows the citizens to have a better living quality as they can earn some more money. At the same time, it produces a lot of pollution and use of a lot of energy. So now you can see that we place a lot of laws on this test, so we can see what happens. Now we see that this is the result page, and we can see 4 scores. One is economic, environmental, residential, and finally the final score. The 3 big scores, economic, environmental, and residential, are calculated based on 7 hidden variables, including greenery, pollution, population, happiness, energy, wealthiness, and living quality. These 7 values are calculated based on how many logs of each log you have placed and how you arrange them. For example, people like living next to the forest as it gives a good view and clear air, but they won't like living next to a factory as the air will be, it produces polluted air. And so we have the 7 hidden variables and we use them to calculate the 3 base score, which is the economic, environmental, and residential. And finally, we have these 3 scores to calculate the final score, which is also scaled so that if you have a balanced development, it will be better. The score will be better. The color of the scoreboard and music also depends on the results. And after seeing the results, the player can walk around. So if like this time we have more environmental cities, so the world become green. And after seeing the results, the player can return to and start again to try to get a higher score. And I think that's it for our presentation. Thank you.
All right, so another game on environmental preservation. Okay. The next group, 11A, Future Gym.
Begin.
Our topic is Future Gym, which is a demonstration of how our gym will be look like. We hope to give a place that the users will feel a safe and private, comfortable gym environment. And we also include some smart features to make it more interesting.
Okay, our target audience are the obese people, obese group. They need exercise, but they hardly go to traditional gym because they are so ashamed of their own body image. Exposure to public and judgment to stimulate their stress and depression. The K, serving as individual exercising cell, can provide the obese with a less stressful but motivated place to exercise.
Our project has several smart features. The first one is that you can enter your personal data into it, and the Future Gym can generate a fitness program especially for you. And also we add some game and competition to make exercising more interesting. And the smartest part is that we added a VR coach. You can choose the avatar of the coach, and also the coach can help you with oral instructions, give you demonstration of the movements, and the VR coach will always accompany you through the gym time. And therefore you can get professional instructions while saving the money. And also you'll get less hurt because of the professional instructions and become more efficient in the gym. And now we'll show the demo.
So our project is a projection of what a future dream will be. So this is actually like a virtual reality project of a future augmented reality project. So here, imagine that you've entered our future dream, which is a individual cell. Imagine that this is the front wall, which is also a big screen of the future dream. And once you've entered, you can, like here, you're promoted to input your name, nickname, and your age, gender, height, weight, or other related data. And after that, you can get your, okay, we skip that, your personal training data. So here's a demonstration of the immersive interactive environment of our virtual gym. So this is a demo of a future rowing machine. We cannot have a real rowing machine here, so this is just a demonstration. Like when you row on the rowing machine, the surrounding scenes will give you live feedbacks, and you can see your heart rate or speed or other related data displayed in the head-up display to monitor. And when you get bored, you can log into the online game platform that we have in our gym to race against others. You can see another button there. So next is a demonstration of our VR coach. You can change avatar, okay? And yeah, you can change among avatars, and you can ask the VR coach to give you oral instructions on how to do certain exercises like push-ups, and you can ask the VR coach to demonstrate that activity for you. Likely, like we cannot find animations for push-ups, so we just use the standard Unity animations. And in the future, we may have some motion detection systems, and the VR coach can correct you. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so that split there is quite amazing. Group 11B, Act B, H.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Group 11B. So the concept of our project is a mind palace, a physical depiction of a thought process of a person. So the problem that we are trying to highlight is the problem of student suicides in Hong Kong. We believe that this problem is not just important for the government or the families, but it is important for each and every one of us who recognizes themselves as a citizen of Hong Kong. The purpose is to raise awareness and highlight the issue. Through our system, you'll get a first perspective experience into the project to help you understand the point better. The reasons that we've identified, the reasons for suicide in our research are relationship issues, lack of social support, sexual orientation crisis, academic pressures, and bullying. Our project is an interactive version where you can play detective, interact with the various objects, and make your own narrative in your mind. You can explore and make a choice at the end that you'll see in the Panopto recording. We also try to, in our research, we try to highlight some things that we as family members of a suicidal person can do. So empathy, encouraging discussion about the problems that the student is having, and consultation with specialists are the main points. So now it's time for you to get ready to enter the mind of a student contemplating suicide. We made a Panopto recording for you because not every one of you can see the cardboard experience. So we'll just begin with that. Now we are moving towards the Mind Palace. You can interact with the various objects that we have placed. This is the family portrait of the suicidal student.
A long line of successful engineers and scientists. Moms on the left. Don't be fooled by that smile. And see that little fellow in the picture? Yeah, that's me. Gene Leung Jr., the odd one out.
Now you're into the Mind Palace and you can interact with many objects that we place. The objects will tell you their own story once you focus on them.
Painting is my life. It is the only thing that I find peace in. Why can't I paint all day long?
The various memory objects placed in the room tell you their own story by voice-over. This is the report card of the student. He is having troubles academically.
Jean, do not panic and do not come looking for me. I am sorry, but I might not be able to see you anymore. My family is moving to England, and I'm afraid that I will not be back for a very long time. I hope you have all the happiness in the world. Stay strong against those bullies. I know you have the strength in you to persevere. Please forgive me if you can. Love, Christopher.
This is the scene where you get to either choose to live or die. The system has two different endings depending on whether you choose to fight or flight. That's the end of it. I guess we'll be passing the Google Cardboard so all of you can experience the Mind Palace yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So as you can see, many groups actually created VR virtual reality projects to address the issue of, students' experiences with stress in life. So very thoughtful of all of you. The last two groups, 12A, Polar Bear Run.
Begin.
Okay, hello everyone. We are Group 12A and our project is Polar Bear Run. And we want to make this game to arouse the awareness of global warming, so we choose Polar Bear as a theme. And this is a game about Polar Bear mom trying to find his father kids. Okay, let's go to the demonstration. Okay, and this is our starting UI when we hop out our eyesight to the starting scene, to the play button, and then the game will start. Okay, we first will come to some animation. This is the mom and this is the kids, and they living happily. But one day, earthquakes come. Earthquakes. Boom. And then the eyes shatter and they are apart. So the mom has to find her kids. Okay, then the game will start. We will play as the Polar Bear mom. She needs to jump over ice to find her kids. The background noise you are listening is actually the sounds from the kids. And it will direct you to the kids in the process. So, okay. And this game is quite hard. And so maybe we can show the winning scene and the PowerPoint. And this game is kind of intended to be that hard because we want to show that the polar bear survival is depends on how we the humans do to fight global warming, but not the skills or something. So we need to help the polar bear. So this is the winning scene. You can see the immediately after. Okay. You need to pay very good to reach the good ending. This is the end and that's it. Okay.
Okay, so environmental preservation obviously is the second major topic in all of our students' projects. Okay, good job. The very last group, 12B, the game changer.
Hi everyone. Our project is the game changer. It is similar to a career personality test. So although we have did some research on the matching between jobs and some personalities, we still can make sure that the prediction done in our project is actually absolutely correct. But then we still want our players to know more about themselves during the process of the game, to know more about their interests and what jobs may best fit their personality. So in the beginning, the setting is at a children's birthday party. So in the middle of the room, there is a table that has three mini present boxes, and three of them can be chosen and picked up by the players, which are the Angry Bird, the Laboratory, and the Stormtroopers. As for the three choices, it will lead the players to a unique path of our project. So we choose the Angry Bird now.
So basically, when we choose the bird, is indicating we are going to have a career of aviation, such as pilot or the work at the airport. And so, some of the criteria for them to be that they have to know the places around the world. So in this game, the player had to kind of match the work on the earth and on the place, and then have to touch with the earth.
Besides geography knowledge, being a successful pilot, you also have to have some skills of logic, so that you can find a way out in the maze. So we have this maze game. You just pick up the badge and then find your way to the ending. This is a 3D maze. Because it's a bit hard, so we just fly over to the ending. So fly to the room that ending room, so that we will be faster to go to the next scene. So in this game, we have several tasks for the player to play. So we have to gain some medals and badges as a recognition of your personality or your choices. So when you have a combination of several medals, we will have an assessment on your job choice, so that we can provide you a job that you may want to do.
So we continue the game as the pilot path. So as a pilot, we have to drive the plane and avoid the obstacles. And this game is based on the Angry Bird game, but we are different. We don't need to break the blocks, but we avoid them and go to the end.
So this is the ending scene, and you can see we have output the job that is suggested to you. We can see because we choose the pilot path, so that at the end, as a result, we can see pilots. This job is suggested to you. So every time when we deal with different games, we may have different results at the end. So this is our project. Thank you.
Okay, great.